Hi, welcome to the Healing Temple. My name is Tracy Andara Starloha, and I'm your guide to holistic wellness. Most of us are doing our best to balance and uphold our best selves. That means mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, we strive to have a great life. Now, some of these things could be harder for us than others. For example, eating right could be really hard for us and getting to the gym, or our mental state could be hard and we have a lot of limiting beliefs about ourselves, or our emotional state could be troubled and we could feel negative things about ourselves and the world around us. My goal here is to help you find those places that you're struggling with and to elevate them, to bring them into a new level of being that's making your whole body health better. So today we're going to talk about more of a spiritual and emotional aspect of our lives that I find really interesting, and it's kind of subtle, but it's really can be a little advanced for those of us who are really working to live a life aligned with spirit, with positivity, with intention, with working out our karma, clearing our karma, putting our best self forward, and creating positive ripple effects in the world. So what we're going to talk about today is our decisions, our innermost wants, and how they can actually come from an ego base or a spiritual base, and how when they come from an ego base, they're actually could be hurting us and hurting the world. And when they come from a spiritual base, they're going to improve our own lives and the lives of those around us. So I want to dive into what is an ego-based want and how can you identify it and what does it mean when you have them. So an ego-based want is like, I want a new car, or I want anything. Anything where we say I want is really actually coming from a place of lack and not feeling enough. And it's saying we don't have something and we'd be happier if we had this thing. So right off the bat, we're wanting to take something or get something to fulfill us. And we think that's going to bring us happiness. And when we don't get that, we actually will be unhappy. Have you ever had a situation where you don't get what you want and you're angry? I've had that many times. Or you do things just to get what you want, thinking it's going to be great, but the means of getting there aren't that great. And then once you get it, you probably don't feel that great about yourself. So I've worked with many spiritual teachers, and to identify if you're on the right track in what you're focusing on in your life, one of my spiritual teachers said, if you hear in your system, I want this, you know that it's your ego talking and it's not really going to serve you or anyone else in the long run. So what I'm saying is be aware of where you're coming from when you're taking action in the world. Here's the story I'll tell you about what I've just discovered, where I wanted to be of service and I wanted to help somebody, and actually my strong want of doing that got in the way of actually helping them. So I'll tell you what happened. I saw a post from somebody on Facebook in my community, and she said she wanted to borrow a juicer. She was looking to borrow a juicer because she wanted to make juice for her healing. And I said, well, I didn't want to give her my juicer, but I wanted to make it for her because I knew that I would make the best juice. I would make organic juice and juice that would really help her. So we came to an agreement that I would bring her some juice. I did bring her the juice, and that was great. And then the next time I made juice and was ready to deliver it, she didn't coordinate with me to get it to her house in a timely manner. And I wanted her to get the juice fresh, but it wasn't until 2.5 days later that she said I could come over. And so I was waiting around for 2.5 days to to give her the juice. And other than that, we had made other plans and they had fallen through, and I just felt like I wasn't available to wait around and make these plans and have her flake on me 90% of the time. And so I just said, I'm not available for this. I can't do this because I need to work with someone who can respect me and meet me where I am. That said, I did really feel like my needs for respect weren't being met, and I didn't want to continue the relationship. Also, I did notice a part of me during the whole process that really wanted her to eat a certain way and to do the things that I was providing so that she could get healing. And when she wasn't doing that, I got angry. Or I got upset. So my wants of her healing the way that I thought she would, or in the time frame that I wanted her to, got in the way of me actually being able to serve her. And so it turned out to be not a good match, because my wants and were in the way of me actually just fully serving her. And it was okay, because I really needed to respect my own boundaries in the situation. I just wanted to share that as an example, because when you're doing something for somebody, it should be because you really want to be of service to them. And that's where I was going to go next. Is there's a difference between wanting something for yourself, like an ego want, and wanting to actually be of service to the world and giving in the way that actually people need. And so in reframing I want to how can I be of service is a huge leap into a lighter way of being, a more refreshing way of being. And also, it's not bad to want. It's just bad to be attached to the wants or upset when we don't get them. Our attachment breeds upset or disappointment or negative feelings. So I like to reframe it as I hope that this happens, or I'm excited for this to happen, or I dream of a day where, or I long for, or I desire. Those are more open-ended, like they breed a sense of trust that it'll happen, and if it doesn't, it's no big deal. These are like more lighthearted and more non-attached, of like, oh, I'm excited to have a new car one day, or I hope that one day I'll have a bigger house, and these are actually just saying that these are your dreams and those are valid. And it doesn't mean that it's going to hinder your happiness now in the present, because what we have now, when we are thankful for what we have now and happy just because of everything we have now, we are more able to have a good vibration, to live a life that attracts those things that we dream of. But when we are upset that we don't have the car we want, or we're really fixated on something that we don't have that we want, we lose sight of everything that we do have and all the resources and tools we do have to just create a life that we love in the moment. So I find this really helpful to just get out of my own self, get out of what I think I need, because most of these wants are just a way to fill something that we feel we're lacking. So a lot of the times we do act from ego or personality wants, whether it's a trauma that happened in the past that we're trying to resolve, like we want our boyfriend to like us more, do this a certain way so that we feel more loved, or we want our boss to give us the recognition that we feel we deserve, but we're not getting it, so we're upset. Those things usually have a pattern of some past need or feeling that was unmet. So it's important, like when we want something from somebody, that we're actually looking at what part of me, didn't get this sometime, or is hurt because I didn't get it in the past. So really we get to uncover our true, blocks or fears or hurts around these topics. And so that's a guide or a spiritual tool. We can use that as a guide or a spiritual tool. And And then there's patterns within us that are deeper, that are more subconscious, that run in our system, and they have a hold on our system, and they're just a general strong pattern that we've been carrying our whole lives or for many lifetimes. And that could be like a want to feel recognized or a want to feel something, some kind of way, and we haven't felt that way because of lifetimes of our relationship to our reality, where it created this idea or persona of what's going on. So those things can actually be cleared really straightforwardly and easily. I want to give you 2 ideas of how you can clear those. Number 1, I've been doing something called the Rainbow Bridge technique for over 2 years, I think. And there's 2 phases. There's phase 1, which is creating and widening your central channel of energy. So we all have this channel that runs at the core of our being from up here down below our feet. And that's called the pranic tube, or there's many names for it. So the first phase is bringing light down into that central channel or tube and expanding the central channel from like maybe 1 sliver to an inch or 2. The next phase is doing line forms that clear any like clouds of emotional baggage that we're carrying on our aura. And for example, there's like hundreds of them, and you go through them meticulously every day. And so for example, one line form could be, myself always does everything for me and I never do anything for myself. Myself is actually our soul. Or it could be, I never do anything for you and I never desire to do anything for you and you always do everything for me. And there's these flips. There's every angle of that sentence that you can do is written in a formula that you follow. And every time you repeat this line form for 5 to 7 minutes and then clear the energy, and this is all guided in the protocol, you are clearing that thought form, that energetic pattern, that emotional pattern. And so you're freeing yourself of these old things. And so what the Rainbow Bridge technique is doing is it's clearing your personality, which is your ego. It's clearing that, and it's inviting in with the light coming from your soul, which is centered 6 inches above your head. It brings the light of your soul into your body, your whole central channel, and it allows you to live from your soul instead of from your ego. And I can tell you that since I started doing this practice, it totally changed my life, and it totally has set me on a path to where I'm doing what I'm doing now, having this YouTube channel, financially free, starting multiple businesses, traveling the world. And so I'm serving with my nonprofit, serving people in Africa, getting water and food and education. So I'm doing what my soul came into this life to do, and my personality, it gets in the way some days. And I can tell that it is because my emotional state is a little funky. It's like, got an attitude, and it's like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted, and I'm going to sulk about it. But that doesn't last very long because I have the tools and the awareness to know that was just me, being disappointed because I didn't get what I want. And so our goal is to have as few of those situations as possible, maybe once a month or twice a month, and the rest of your life being like stoked, serving in all the ways that your soul is guided to serve, and feeling excited about what you're doing, about the future, how you can create and make amazing things in the world. So highly recommend the Rainbow Bridge technique and practice. I have the PDF of the whole book, which shares what it means, the history, all the in-depth stuff. I also have a PDF that shares exactly how to do it. I also have a resource that tells you who to connect with to help you check your progress and all that. And I can also help you too, because I've been through it. So the book is out of print, so the PDF is what you need, because you're not going to find it anywhere else. So if you want that, just comment below and I will make sure you get it. And the next thing I wanted to share is another more, maybe potentially quicker way of clearing yourself of all of these maybe past patterns or ego-based projections, is to work with Dr. Whitten. He is local to me, a doctor he's a doctor of chiropractic, but he also invented his own method called the Whitten method, where he muscle tests you to see what part of your system needs some work and has stress or has trauma or has a limiting belief that is ready to be cleared. So he can teach you how to do the Whitten method on yourself by his basics course, which is on his website. So you can have that lifetime course, self-paced course, to learn the Whitten method and do this practice on yourself and others. So not only are you clearing and healing yourself, but you're also able to even make a living from offering this Whitten method to others who need the healing. You can also just schedule a session with Dr. Whitten and see for yourself what type of how it works, how it feels to receive the benefits of the Whitten method, and then decide from there about the course. So I highly recommend to go to whittenmethod.com. I'll link it below to get a session with Dr. Whitten. I'm going to be taking his course in a couple months. So those are linked below, and you can watch this video right here of Dr. Whitten giving me a session so you can see what it's like. And he does work remotely, so it's no big deal if you can't be in person with him. You just won't be able to get the chiropractic adjustments. So all that being said, I hope that you took this in and you are able to really, sift through your motives, your emotions, where you're coming from as you're living your life, and try to just make those small shifts to gratitude, dreaming, hoping, being excited for, instead of wanting or grasping or feeling lack or fear that you won't get something. We are here to thrive, and we're here to express and create, and the only way to do that is to clear ourselves of anything that's taking us away from that. So I hope you got a lot out of this video, and I'm so excited to see you in the next one. Don't forget to check out the Whitten method video here. I think you'll really enjoy that, and I'll see you soon.